saw this post on Instagram the other day, and it was a woman who she had found these super cute tights that had this skin colored liner in them. So they had complete coverage, but they still looked like regular tights. And they allowed her to wear miniskirts. Um, and whether you think that's okay or not, that's actually not the point of this. What I found really fascinating was the comments. The comments were all, not all, a lot of the comments were really negative. Some of them were mean. Some of them were contentious. Some of them were super judgmental from people who are religious and or spiritual and who want to dress a certain way to because what they believe God wants them to wear and how they want to treat their bodies, etc. And what I thought was so interesting was I think they've missed the entire point. And this is not coming from judgment from me because I used to be one of those people. I know exactly where they're coming from. My brain, on default, left to its own. I have an Enneagram 1 brain, if you know what that is. It means that my brain all by itself is overly judgmental, overly critical, overly concerned with following the rules because I want to be good, right? And a lot of these comments, they sounded like people that they want to be good and they want to follow God and they want to obey his commandments and do the thing that he would have them do. And regardless of what you think about the clothes we wear, being this way in the comments is not what God wants us to do. These are followers of Jesus Christ. And Jesus Christ repeatedly taught the two greatest commandments are to love God and to love others. And if we are breaking the commandment of loving others at the expense of other commandments, I don't think we're doing it right. So I wanted to give a few tips to the people who I used to be. Like, this is what my brain does this on default even now. My brain is still like that. My brain judges all the time. In fact, all human brains actually judge all the time because it is the way our brain is trying to keep us safe every second of every day. So it looks at everything and judges it to see if it's safe or not. So all the humans are judging. It's not the judgment that's a problem. It's what we do with it. So when I notice judgment from my brain, and this is the key, this is what I wanted to share. What we want to do is look at ourselves. Use whatever that is. So in this case, it's a post. Use it as a mirror to look at yourself. What is it reflecting back? Because if you feel angry about the post, if you feel judgmental, if you feel disgusted, if you feel afraid, I don't know what you feel. It's showing you something about you. It has nothing to do with this woman or what she's wearing. It is showing you something about you, and that is how we do our work. Coaching, I have believed in and followed Jesus Christ for my entire life. And coaching is what helps me to take it, not just to the next level. I mean, I went up lots and lots and lots of levels because even though I was always taught to love other people, I was like, yeah, but how? How do you actually do it? There are so many commandments that I couldn't figure out how to do what he was asking me to do. And coaching is what gave me the how of the gospel. It showed me how to actually do it. So right now, let's say I saw that post. This is not what I actually thought. This is just an example. Let's say that I saw it and was like, oh my gosh, that's horrible. You shouldn't wear that. That's wrong. Or that's not following your covenants, or that's immodest, right? I'm like super judgmental. What I want to look at is, why do I think that? Is this coming from what people have said? Is it coming from what God has said? Is it because I judge myself in that way? Do I have judgments about the way that I dress? Do I wish that I could dress a certain way and I can't, and I feel resentful, and so is that where that's coming from? It's looking at yourself to find the key to why you're feeling emotion right now. It has nothing to do with this woman or her post or what she's wearing. It shows you something about you. And as followers of Jesus Christ, it is super important that we are willing to hit the pause button rather than putting these mean, hateful, judgmental comments on her post, because especially in the name of following Christ, you can't say, no, Christ wouldn't want me to wear that while you are judging and being mean to someone who thinks it's okay to wear that. You can't pick and choose your commandments. So if we are going to be representatives of Jesus Christ and really, we want people to be able to look at us and see that's what it means to be a follower of Jesus Christ, which is not being mean or hateful on Instagram or anywhere else. So in order to truly follow Jesus Christ, we have to be willing to do our own work. So anytime you notice negative emotion that is likely to have you showing up in a way that it is not Christ-like, that's when we want to hit the pause button and we want to look at ourselves. We want to get super, super curious. Why am I feeling this way? Where is this coming from? What is it that I'm believing? Where am I judging myself? Generally, all judgment is self-judgment. Anytime we are judging someone else, it's because of the way we judge ourselves. So maybe we think that if we were to dress that way, that God wouldn't love us anymore. That is a thought error. That's what us coaches call a thought error. That's not true. But if you really believe that, and it's probably subconscious, it's not conscious. If you really believe that, that's going to show up all over in your life. That's where the work is to look at, is there a condition on God's love? Would he really not love me if I wore those clothes? Is that really true? We have to do our own work rather than reacting to our negative emotions. Use them as messages to show you where your work is so that you can be the follower of Christ that you want to be his representative, to show up in the world as your very best self. We can't do that if we are constantly reacting to our emotions. Coaching, thought work, emotion work, it's all spiritual work because it helps us to become more like Christ, to become the best versions of ourselves. It's okay that we judge. We just don't want to react to the judgment. Our brains are judgmental. Some of our brains are more judgmental than others, like, for example, an Enneagram 1 brain. And it's all okay. Our brains are fine just as they are. It's not a problem that we judge. It's a problem what we do with the judgment. And I am inviting you to use it to become more Christ-like, to become more of who you want to be, rather than reacting to it and not being Christ-like and not being the best version of yourself. And if you want help with this work, I would love to help you. I think coaching is the very best way to follow Jesus Christ because it has given me truly the tools of how to actually do what he has asked me to do. And I have helped thousands and thousands of people. And I would love to help you to work on your brain so that you have the skills of doing exactly what I said, of getting curious, of questioning your thoughts, at looking at your emotions as messages, at hitting the pause button, and really deciding on purpose rather than reacting. And if you would love to do that work with me, I would love to do it with you. Have a beautiful week, my friends.